All right, Shalom, Shalom. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another one of our Israelite Gathering Bible studies. My name is YAH, and the title of our Bible study today is The First Fruits, YAH's Chosen. The first fruit, YAH's Chosen. So we are heavy into Passover season. Um, Many of us use different calendars, but we're here. We're all right around the same place. We're all right here in first fruits, and unleavened bread and Pesach season. So, to everybody that's celebrating Passover, I hope everybody enjoys the season and able to make their appearances and are able to get their days off from work. So with that being said, we had first fruits Saturday night, which is the morrow after the Shabbat, which precedes the week of unleavened bread. So what we're going to talk about today is the concept of first fruits, understanding, why are we celebrating first fruits? Why are we offering our first fruits unto Yah? What are the first fruits, and who does he consider his first fruits? So we're going to kind of go over that concept so we can understand why it's such a travesty not to offer, the best of what we have, our first fruits back unto Yahweh. So we're going to go over that. And if you haven't already, you can visit our website at israelitesgathering.com. You can also download our applications on Apple. It's also on Android, and you can get that for free. On our website, you'll be able to access, all of our previous studies, our study materials, things of that nature will be available there for you. So definitely check it out. Also, our Holy Day calendar is there as well. So you can check that out all on our website. So again, the title of our Bible study today is The First Fruits, Yah's Chosen. And the first fruits is literally Yah's chosen. That's what Yah chose. That belongs to him. So let's go ahead and get into the concept. So before we, let's go ahead and get started. Let's open up. Let's go ahead and open up in... Bear with me one second. I wasn't able to print out my class today. All right, so let's go ahead and open up in Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 4. Genesis chapter 4, and we're going to read 1 through 17 so we can get an idea of these first fruit offerings. All right, so we got the scripts up. And we're going to go to the book of Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 4. And we're going to read 1 through 17. And again, this is an open forum. So if you have any questions, comments, or anything of that nature, by all means, chime in decently and in order. So we're at Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 4, and verse 1. And Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahweh. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and not unto his offering. So why would the Most High reject? Both of them understand that they got to offer unto Yah. But what belongs to Yah? Remember, the first fruits belongs unto Yah. So we have to understand that concept. So let's look at what Cain gave. All right. So Cain was a tiller of the ground. So he just gave fruits of the ground. So was it necessarily his best? No, he could have gave us leftovers. It's not clear. But what's clear is that he did not give his first fruits or the best of it. It just says that he gave. So he took something. It could have been the worst. It could have been the last. It could have been stuff that he didn't want. It's things that he wanted to throw away. Either way, it was not his best, and it was definitely not his first, or it would have been accepted. Now, Abel, on the other hand, he brought of the firstlings. So if we look at that word for firstlings, it's Bakora, H1062. So this is talking about the firstling of man or beast. So this is like the firstborn animal or litter, or the firstborn cow or lamb that was born of his stock. So he gave the first that he got. Not only did he give the first of what he got, he also gave the fat thereof. So if we look at the fat, the Hebrew word for fat is heleb, H2459, and that is the riches, the choices. This is the best pieces. So you can clearly see the difference in the offering. One, Abel gave of his first, his Bakora, or his Bakorum is the first fruits pertaining to produce, but pertaining to animals, being that he was a keeper of the sheep, he gave his firstborn animals. And in addition to that, the best, rich, choicest pieces of that animal. All right. And verse 5, but unto Cain, verse 4, verse 5, but unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. And Yahweh said unto Cain, why are you mad? And why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, shall you not be accepted? And if you do not well, sin lies at the door. And unto you shall be his desire, and you shall rule over him. So the rule of sin is that if you start to allow yourself to do transgressions, then it's going to start from you allowing to it ruling over you, where now you're intentionally going out to do transgression. Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel and slew his brother. So we know what came out of that. He ended up killing his own brother. All right. So what I wanted to just show here was the difference in offerings. Abel offered a real first fruit offering. In this case, Bakora was the first of his animals. And not only just the first of the animal, he gave the best, choicest pieces. It belongs to Yah. All right. So now Cain, on the other hand, he just showed up for show. He just gave something to say he gave something, and it was not accepted. All right. So let's move on. So let's go ahead and go to Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter 26, so we can understand why. Why was that such an offense not to give his first fruits? Because keep in mind, this is the first family. So, there's only so much that they know. But we are not the first family. We've been here. Furthermore, we had a perfect man as an example. So we don't have that excuse. So let's get into the book of the law. Devarim, Deuteronomy, chapter 26. And Shalom, as always, to my big brother, Yafi, Yehuda. Good to see you, family. And Shalom, as always, to my other big brother, Aaron Hicks. Good to see you, family. All right, so we're at Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter 26, and we're going to start this at verse 1. And it shall be, when you are come in unto the land which Yahweh, your Elohim, gives you for an inheritance, and possesses it, and dwells therein. So just from out the first verse, you can see why we have to offer the first fruits. Because look right here, it says, when we come into the land, whether the land be Israel or the land be your body, your physical body, you inherited that. You didn't create that. You didn't purchase that. You didn't make that or procreate that. It was given unto you. All right. And you possess it and dwell therein, that you shall take of the first of all the fruit of the earth, which you shall bring of your land that Yahweh your Elohim gives you, and shall put it in a basket, and shall go unto the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to place his name there. And you shall go unto the priest that shall be in those days, and say unto him, I profess this day unto Yahweh your Elohim, that I am come unto the country which Yahweh sware unto our fathers for to give to us. And the priest shall take the basket out of your hand and set it down before the altar of Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall speak and say before Yahweh your Elohim, a Syrian ready to perish was my father, and he went down into Mizraim and sojourned there a few, and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous. And the Mizrites evil entreated us and afflicted us, and laid upon us hard bondage. And when we cried unto Yahweh Elohim, our fathers, Yahweh heard our voice and looked on our affliction and our labor and our oppression. And Yahweh brought us forth out of Mizraim with a mighty hand and with the outstretched arm and with great terribleness and with signs and with wonders. And he has brought us into this place and has given us this land, even a land that flows with milk and honey. And now, behold, I have brought the first fruits of the land which you, O Yahweh, has given me. And you shall set it before Yahweh your Elohim and worship before Yahweh your Elohim. So again, Yah gave us all this. He took us out of slavery, literal oppression in Mizraim, our house of bondage, brought us into a land that we didn't till, that we didn't plant, that we didn't do anything for, gave it to us. And it's only befitting. We shouldn't even have to have a law for this. It should be only befitting if somebody just gave you everything, that the first of that produces out of it, that you give it to the person that gave it to you out of respect. Like, I appreciate what you did. Thank you. It belongs to you. You just gave me a portion. So this is the law. This is why we have our first fruits. Verse 11. And you shall rejoice in every good thing which Yahweh your Elohim has given unto you and unto your house, you and the Levite and the stranger among you. And you shall, and when you has made an end of tithing all the tithes of your increase in the 3rd year, which is the year of tithing, having given it unto the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that they may eat within your gates and be filled. So here's a few things. The year of tithing is the 3rd year out of our 7-year cycle. So on the 3rd year out of the 7-year cycle is the year of tithing. That's when you're supposed to offer those tithes, right? And when you do offer those tithes, he's supposed to go to the Levite, because he didn't inherit any land in which he could farm and have livestock on. He had to depend on the children of Israel to donate livestock so that they could do their animal sacrifices and the first fruit offerings and the free will offerings so they could eat. So it went to the Levite, and the rest of the tithings went to the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. So that was our welfare system. It went to the poor people that didn't receive an inheritance in which they could, take care of themselves so that they wouldn't have to steal, or they wouldn't have to, starve to death. Verse 13. Then you shall say before Yahweh your Elohim, I have brought away the hollow things out of my house, and have also given them unto the Levite, and to the stranger, and to the fatherless, and to the widow, according to all your commandments which you have commanded me. I have not transgressed your commandments, neither have I forgotten them. I have not eaten thereof in my mourning, neither have I taken anything away thereof, any unclean use, nor given anything thereof for the dead. But I have hearkened to the voice of Yahweh my Elohim, and have done according to all that you have commanded me. Look down from your holy habitation from heaven, and bless your people, Yasharal, and the land which you have given us, as you swear us unto our fathers, a land that flows with milk and honey. This day, Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you to do these statutes and judgments. You shall therefore keep and do them with all your heart and with all your soul. You have avouched Yahweh this day to be your Elohim and to walk in his ways and to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and to hearken unto his voice. And Yahweh has avouched you this day to be his peculiar people, as he has promised you, and that you should keep all his commandments. So this peculiar people is also a synonym for the chosen people. This is strange. It's different than all the other people, right? Verse 19, and to make you high above all nations which he has made in praise and in name and in honor. So this is the Most High's decision. This is who he chose. He chose this peculiar people, which he named Israel, Yasharal. And he said, I'm going to make you higher above all nations, not just in stature or numbers, but he said in praise and in name, which is character, and in honor, and that you may be a holy people unto Yahweh your Elohim, as he has spoken. So we are the first fruits. We are his chosen, and that is his decision. So anybody that is upset with it has to take it up with him. We don't have to defend his decision. If that's his choice, he said, this is what I want the first fruits, that's what he gets. And if he says, Israel, you are the first fruits, then that's who we are. That's his choice. To take the latter portion and make it the first fruits, that's the same thing as Cain. That's like Cain taking anything and saying, well, this is the first fruits. Here you go. No, it's not. It's not accepted. He wanted the first fruits and the best thereof. And Yah said, that is us. So that is Yah's decision. So let's move on. Let's go to Leviticus 23. YAH chapter 23. And let's start this at verse 9. And Shalom to my sis Stephanie Hicks. Good to see you, family. So we're going to Leviticus, YAH chapter 23. And we're going to read 9 through 14. And we're going to actually look at the Feast of First Fruits. And a lot of people confuse the Feast of First Fruits with the offering and unleavened bread. And how, a few points that we know that it's not the same is we're about to find out here in First Fruits that when we offer on First Fruits, just like we just read in Deuteronomy, it's supposed to be like a basket, a certain amount that we offer. And here in Leviticus 23, it's going to tell us the exact weight or amount that we offer. All right. Now, the offering that is the first appearance of the year is during unleavened bread. And that is a free will offering. That means you offer according to what Yah has blessed you. If he blessed you with a whole lot, you offer more. If he blessed you with just a little bit, then you offer a little bit less. But it's according to what Yah has given you, and you cannot show up empty-handed. Now, and the Feast of First Fruits, we're about to find out it's a specific amount that we're supposed to offer. All right, so we're going to YAH, Leviticus chapter 23, and we're going to start this at verse 9. All right, and Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Yasharal, and say unto them, when you be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. So again, we are to offer a sheaf of the first fruits unto Yahweh. So let's take a look at that. All right. What is a sheaf? All right. So let's take a look at that. It says that you shall reap of the harvest thereof, you shall bring a sheaf. So the sheaf is a specific weighed amount. All right. So a sheaf is literally an omer. An omer. And an omer is a dry measure. It's 1/10 of an ephah. That's about 2 liters. So when you have a 2 liter bottle of Pepsi, that is like the omer. Okay, so an omer is a sheaf. That's about 2 liters in dry measure. So he's telling you a specific weighted amount of your first fruits are you supposed to offer. So you figure when you offering a 2 liter bottle for the fruit, that's not much. That's symbolic. Yeah, I don't need that. That's to keep you honest, to show that, man, y'all bless you with this and you appreciate that. And you're going to turn around and offer it to y'all, and it's going to feed the poor, the hungry, the widows, all of that. Verse 11. And he shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Shabbat, the priest shall wave it. Now, what you have is you have a lot of people that are actually making this offering during the week of unleavened bread. And we're going to see why that's a problem, because that's what the Jewish people do. And when you go into Flavius Josephus' Antiquities of the Jews, we saw that the Sanhedrin was doing things according to the lunar calendar. So according to the lunar calendar and according to how these Jewish people do it, they're keeping it on literally the day after the Feast of Unleavened Bread, day 1, which would be Abib 16 is when they're doing it. And that's out of order. And we're going to show you why it can't be that day. Because first of all, that's a Sabbathon, by the way. The first day of unleavened bread is the Sabbathon. That's not a Sabbath. The Sabbath is the 7th day of the week. The Sabbathon is a day treated like a Sabbath. For lack of a better word, a holiday is what a Sabbathon is. And that will never fall on the Sabbath day, because the Sabbath day is completely sanctified. All right. Verse 12. And you shall offer that day when you wave the sheaf a he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto Yahweh. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2 tent deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of a hin. And this is verse 14 right here. This is how you know that first fruits cannot be inside of the week of unleavened bread. It says, and you shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears until the same day. So the same day that you have brought an offering unto your Elohim, it shall be a statute forever throughout all your generations and all your dwellings. So he's saying, before you eat or do anything, offer to the Most High. Your sheaf, which is just an omer, offer that to the Most High. And these are the things he said that you cannot eat. And in this law here is the telltale clue and sign that it's not during unleavened bread. So when you see this word said, you shall eat neither bread, the Hebrew word for bread is lahain, H3899, and that's bread. That's literally fermented bread, bread with actual leaven in it. That's called lahain. When you want to see unleavened bread, you can go back up to the top. You see, unleavened bread is H4682, and that is matzah, which is bread without leaven. So that is a sweet bread. That's different. So again, it says that you can't eat bread. But why would I be eating bread during unleavened bread when I can't eat any bread with leaven? So that would be a contradiction. That doesn't make any sense. So that lets you know it can't be talking about during the week of unleavened bread, or it wouldn't need no mention. He would just say, don't eat no produce. He wouldn't mention bread. But it's telling you that you got to eat. You can't eat until you make that off. And it says, nor green ears. So green ears is literally your produce. right? And parched corn is roasted ears of grain. So that's like your grains, your dry grains, and then your produce. So you can't have dry grains, you can't have produce, and you can't have bread until you make your first fruit offering. So you should not eat until you offer unto Yahweh. All right. So this is the clue, and this is how you know that it's not during the week of unleavened bread. So another major clue is when Yahweh Shai went before the Father. When he went before the Father, at first he said, "Don't touch me. You know, I have not been before the Father." Then it said later, it said about 8 days later, he came back and was like, "Look, touch me. Do spirits have flesh and bones?" So he's letting you know that he's already went before the Father. So that's right aligned with first fruits in the Bible. So, all right, so let's look at that word for first fruits. So Leviticus 23, and we're going to look at that word for first fruits in Hebrew. All right. The first fruits. All right, so 87225, Reshith. So that is the root word of that is Rosh. That's why we say Rosh Hashanah, head of the year. So the beginning, the first, the top, the choice. So Yah made Abib the first, the top, the choice, the only month he gave a name. All right, so Reshith, the first in place, time, order, or rank. So it's the first out. It's also the first ranking. So it's the best. So the first fruits, the feast of first fruits. All right. So let's move on. Let's go to First Chronicles. First Chronicles. And the name of the feast of first fruits is Bekurim. And we're going to see why it's called Bekurim. All right, so we're going to go to the book of Chronicles. Chronicles is probably one of the least read books that we do, just for some reason. First Chronicles chapter 16. All right, so Rishon Hayamim, Rishon Hayamim, First Chronicles. And we're going to read 8 through 36. Give thanks unto Yahweh. Call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people. Sing unto him. Sing songs unto him. Talk you all of his wondrous works. Glory you in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek Yahweh. Seek Yahweh and his strength. Seek his face continually. Remember his marvelous works that he has done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. O you seed of Yasharal, his servant, you children of Yaakov, his chosen one. So he's letting you know who his chosen is. The choice piece is the first fruit, or the Bekora. The first in rank, or the Reshith, the first in rank. So he called Israel, the children of Yaakov, his chosen ones. So there it have. Many are called, but few are chosen. Israel, the chosen one. Verse 14, his Yahweh, our Elohim, his judgments are all in the earth. So when people tell you they worship the Most High, well, if the Most High is the God of the children of Israel, then you worship the Most High. But if you have a problem with this God, this Elohim, who goes by the name of Yahweh, who says that Israel is his chosen one, his firstborn, and you have a problem with that, then you're not serving Yah. You serving the God of your mind. You serving the God of an idol. So in order to serve Yah, you got to accept this truth. Verse 15. Being you mindful always of his covenant, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, even of the covenant which he made with Abraham and of his oath unto Yashak. And that's what makes us different. He made covenant with us. He made promise with us. He didn't do that to any other nation. So you don't have to convince anybody else that you're the chosen ones, or you don't have to defend that, because that's Yah's truth. And if they got a problem with it, then guess what? They gonna create a religion. Because if you just go and change things because you don't like it, then you're not worshiping the truth. You have created a religion. Verse 16, verse 17, and has confirmed the same to Jacob for a law, and to Yasharal for an everlasting covenant, saying unto you, I will give the land of Canaan for an inheritance. When you were but few, even a few, and strangers in it. And when they went from nation to nation and from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Sing unto Yahweh, all the earth. Show forth from day to day his salvation. And his salvation, Yah, salvation literally in Hebrew translates to Yahweh Shai. Yah being his, and salvation, Yeshua, Yahweh Shai. So show forth from day to day his word. Verse 24, declare his glory among the heathen, his marvelous works among all nations. So we are supposed to brag. We're supposed to sing to the rooftops and in the mountaintops and let the world know that we are his chosen people. He is great. He has done all these things for us and all these miracles. And you can benefit of that if you humble yourself to the laws, statutes, and judgments of the Most High and respect his word and his decisions. Verse 25, for great is Yahweh and greatly to be praised. He also is to be feared above all mighty ones. For all the mighty ones of the people are idols, but Yahweh made the heavens. Glory and honor are in his presence. Strength and gladness are in his place. Give unto Yahweh, you kindreds of the people. Give unto Yahweh glory and strength. Give unto Yahweh the glory due unto his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship Yahweh in the beauty of his holiness. So to bring an offering is to recognize that, look, Yah gave me everything that I have. That's why you can have nothing without him. So at the end of the day, whatever gift that you have within you, any means that you have to be productive, the best and the first of that goes unto Yah, because you are acknowledging that you didn't do this, that this came through the Father. Verse 30, fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. The world is stable and it be not moved. So what's this spinning ball globe foolishness as the world turns, right? Ain't that a soap opera? Which means it's fugazi. Verse 31, let the heavens be glad and let the earth rejoice, and let men say among the nations, Yahweh reigneth. Let the sea roar and the fullness thereof. Let the fields rejoice and all that is therein. Then shall the trees of the wood sing out at the presence of Yahweh, because he comes to judge the earth. Oh, give thanks unto Yahweh, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. And we have to remember that, because, we're in a time of heavy depression, heavy spirits are out here. And sometimes we could be so deep in dirt in our own sin and transgression that we just don't even want to forgive ourselves. We say, y'all, I don't even want to go to you because I done came to you 1,000,000 times and I'm still filthy. I don't deserve any chances or forgiveness. And we say, I don't even want to come to you. But you remember, Yah's word says his mercy endures forever. His word says that every morning his mercy renews. So live in that mercy, live in that grace, and repent. Don't beat yourself up. Put that effort into, now I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do the things that glorify the Most High. And when I overcome, I'm going to give him the glory and I'm going to testimony to the whole world. Verse 35, and say you, save us, O Elohim of our salvation, and gather us together and deliver us from the heathen, that we may give thanks to your holy name and glory in your praise. Blessed be Yahweh Elohim of Yasharal forever and ever. And all the people said amen and praised Yahweh. So again, glorify him, praise him. We are his chosen people. So being that we are the first fruit, the world is supposed to receive the poor. Remember, that's what the first fruits go to, right? The Levite, the stranger, the poor, the widows, the fatherless. Our talents is supposed to go to them. So the best of our money, the first of it, is supposed to go to helping those people. So there should be no reason you don't have money, spare change in your pocket or in your car to give unto the homeless when it's your position to do so. All right, so let's move on. So again, let's look at that word for chosen ones before we move on. I just wanted to show you where we get Pecorum from. Feast of First Fruits. All right, so the Hebrew word for that is H972. H972. Let me pull it up real quick. His chosen ones, H972. The Hebrew word is Bakir. H972, the select, the chosen one, the elect. So Israel, the children of Jacob, is his selection. He selected us, the chosen ones, the elected ones. That's who we are as a people. So Feast of First Fruits is celebrating that. That's why it's called Bekorim. That's the plural of Bekor. The first fruits, we are his chosen ones, the selected, the first in rank, the peculiar ones. All right, so let's go back. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6, Devarim chapter 7, Deuteronomy chapter 7. And we're going to read 6 through 26. Devarim chapter 7, and we're going to read 6 through 26. Verse 6. For you are a holy people unto Yahweh your Elohim. Yahweh your Elohim has chosen you to be a special people unto himself. So remember that word, Bakir, chosen, the select, right? The elect. So you are a Kodesh, set apart people unto Yahweh. So he's put us to the side, away from everybody else, to be a special people unto himself. And he said, you will be above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. So again, the select, the choice isn't the biggest piece. It's the piece that he chose. Verse 8, because Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, has Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Mizraim. Know therefore that Yahweh your Elohim, he is Elohim, the faithful Elohim, which keeps covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. Wow. So Yah might be literally dealing with us because our forefathers kept the commandments. We might have been one of the families that actually tried to keep the commandments when the general, Commonwealth of Israel was doing idolatry. And because of maybe something one of our forefathers did, he's having mercy onto us to the thousandth generation, and repays them that hates them to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hates him. He will repay him to his face. You shall therefore keep the commandments and statutes and the judgments which I command you this day to do them. Wherefore it shall come to pass, if you hearken to do these judgments and to keep and do them, that Yahweh your Elohim shall keep unto you the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto your fathers. And he will love you and bless you and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your womb, the fruit of your land, your corn, your wine, your oil, the increase of your kine, your flocks of your sheep, the land which he sware unto their fathers to give you. You shall be blessed above all people. There shall not be a male or female barren among you or among your cattle. So he's saying that he is going to bless us personally. If we follow these rules, why would you give your portion to somebody to hold for you if they're not going to give the portion back that you said belongs to them? He's not going to give it to you. So he's saying, look, all this belongs to me, and I'm going to put this blessing and give you this gift if you follow my instructions and proportion it the way it's supposed to be. That means this portion belongs to Yah, and that's divvied up here, 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 and here according to his commandments. Verse 15. And Yahweh will take away from you all sickness and will put none of the evil diseases of Mizraim, which you know, upon you, but will lay them upon all them that hate you. So again, all the diseases and sicknesses of Mizraim, Yah will put on all those people that hate the children of Yasharal. So you can hate us and you can hate our God and say, well, why would God choose these people instead of choosing me and my people? Well, you can hate if you want. That's on you. And that's why these curses and these sicknesses will come on people. Verse 17. If you shall say in your heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? You shall not be afraid of them, but shall well remember what Yahweh your Elohim did unto Pharaoh and to all Egypt. So all those nations and all those people that want to argue with you and fight with you and do all these things to hold you back, do not fear them just because we appear less in numbers. There's angels with us that will plead our cause. And these angels will ensure that anybody that comes against us is going to take a swift loss. Verse 19, the great temptations which your eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders and the mighty hand and the stretched out arm whereby Yahweh your Elohim brought you out, so shall Yahweh your Elohim do unto all the people of whom that you are afraid. So even if these people scare you and frighten you, even act like they're going to do something to you, Yah going to deal with them. And that's why you got to be extremely careful with people, because if you know people are ignorant or are void of the spirit, hey, after you tried a couple times and try to shed some light, and when you manifested darkness, step away. Because if they try to put any kind of fear in you or threaten you in any kind of way, Yahweh gonna come deal with these people. Verse 20, moreover, Yahweh will send the hornet among them until they that are left and hide themselves from you be destroyed. You should not be affrighted at them. For Yahweh your Elohim is among you, a mighty all and terrible. So we're not built for fear. We have the most powerful weapon in the universe on our side with us. Who are you afraid of? How can you be afraid of somebody else and not fear the most powerful weapon in the universe? Verse 22. And the only way you could really be afraid of everything over him is when you don't believe. You believe that enemy gonna hurt you. You believe that person gonna touch you, so you're afraid of that. Verse 22. And Yahweh your Elohim will put out those nations before you little by little. You may not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon you. But Yahweh your Elohim shall deliver them unto you and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into your hand, and you shall destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before you until you have destroyed them. The graven images of their gods you shall burn with fire. You shall not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto you, lest you be snared therein, for it is an abomination to Yahweh your Elohim. Neither shall you bring an abomination into your house, lest you be cursed, lest you be a cursed thing like it. But you shall utterly detest it, and you shall utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing. So the opposite of a choice thing is the cursed thing. So Yah decides what is choice or bakor, and Yah chose what is cursed. And let's look at that word for cursed. I just wanted to see that. Verse 26. Harem. Harem. Doomed. So Yah chooses what is Heleb, Bakir, and what is Harem, cursed. So you don't get to choose that. You don't make that decision. So Yah's deciding what belongs to what. So if he says, this piece belongs to me, the rest belongs to you, and you don't give that piece that belongs to him, then you have stolen from the Most High. You have in fact robbed the Most High. That's how serious this is. That's why even with Passover, before we even do a first fruits, you got to do your free will offering. And he said, look, if you don't get it right, make sure you get it the next month. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about that concept of robbing the Most High of what belongs to him. Let's go to Malachi chapter 3. Malachi chapter 3. All right, so we're going to Malachi chapter 3, and we're going to start this at verse 6. So again, when Yah chooses and says, this is what belongs to me, and you don't give that to him, you have in fact stolen from the Most High. All right, so we got a comment here. It says, wow, daughter want me to ask you about the 144,000 because she was in a Jehovah Witness with her Nana. And they said that only the 144,000 would be here on the earth during the 1,000-year reign of Yahweh Shai. She laughed at them for this foolishness. Yah be praised. She is now trying to come into Yah true teaching. Hallelujah. And that whole 144,000 thing, they had to get rid of that doctrine real quick, because once the Jehovah Witnesses grew over 144,000, they had to change it. The 144,000 are the first fruits of Yahweh Shai. Those are the ones that travel with him everywhere that he goes. They are the only saved people. And those people are going to be 12,000 from each tribe. All right. So if it's 12,000 from each tribe, how can it be all Jehovah Witnesses? Jehovah Witnesses, if you're going to call them based upon the nationality of the person that started them, that's Euro Gentile. They got nothing to do. There's no tribe of Euro Gentile listed there. So all praises to your daughter. You know, she had enough spirit, praise y'all. She got it from her father to see that something ain't right because it don't line up with the scripts. All praises. And welcome to your daughter on the class as well. All right, so we're at Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Yaakov are not consumed. So he doesn't change. So if he said Israel is his firstborn, Israel is his Bakor, his choice, it ain't changed. Verse 7. Even from the days of your fathers. And he said, furthermore, he said, that's why you're not consumed. Because that's the only reason you're not consumed. Because if I was going to do it based on the law, you'd be dead. But because I don't change, and I said, you are mine forever, that's why you're not consumed. So you better be happy that Yah chooses who he wants to choose as the firstborn and who he doesn't. Verse 7. Even from the days of your fathers, you have gone away from my ordinances and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, says Yahweh of hosts. But you said, wherein shall we return? Will a man rob Yah? Yet you have robbed me. But you said, wherein have we robbed you? In tithes and offerings. And let me tell you how we rob with tithes and offerings. For one, if we're not offering according to the law, a tithe is a tenth. That's literally what tithe means, right? We're not offering a tenth of what we have. We robbing God. When we're not doing our free will offerings and the 3 offerings that we do throughout the year, we're robbing God. We're robbing the Most High. Now, do we have the Levites to give it to? We don't have the Levites. We don't have them identified as an identified tribe with any kind of, lineage of father or a patriarch. We don't have that. But we do have poor. We do have widows. We do have fatherless. We do have strangers. We have all of those. We are the strangers, and you see them in every city. The poor people, mainly us, the homeless. So that's where your tithe is supposed to go to. If you want to tithe through Israelite gathering and help us, listen, I'm not poor. Well, technically on paper, I'm poor. But I mean, I eat. Most High take care of me. So you don't have to give me the tithes. But if you want to tithe to a ministry because you want to support the ministry, by all means, do so. But at minimum, it's supposed to go to those people that we just read in Deuteronomy, that those tithes are supposed to go to. The poor, the stranger, the widows, the Levites. Verse 9. You are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even this whole nation. So we are robbing the Most High when we don't offer. And you think we robbing them by not giving them money? Yeah, we are. But no, we robbing them by not giving us. That money means nothing. It's only valuable when you're playing Monopoly. Monopoly money don't mean, you try to give me Monopoly money and go buy some gas with Monopoly money. See how that works. It ain't gonna work. It only works when we're playing Monopoly. So your money has no currency value in heaven. Only here in Babylon. So use it for what it's worth, for the things that matter to him, like taking care of people that cannot take care of themselves. That's where it belongs. And when you don't do that, you have robbed the Most High. Verse 10. Bring you all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. And prove me now herewith, said Yahweh of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall be not enough room to receive it. And that's part of the faith. When you're not offering, you're only robbing. You're not only robbing, but you're also showing lack of faith. Because you're saying, well, I need this portion. That, and I'm saying, just to give you the benefit of the doubt that you say you need it, right? That's why you didn't give it. Well, you think that you need it because you don't have faith in the Most High. He didn't say give away 100%, 50. He said a tenth. A tithe is a tenth. And furthermore, the year of tithing is the 3rd year out of 7 years. So on the 3rd year out of 7 year, out of a 7-year cycle, you're supposed to offer. Verse 12. And all nations shall call you blessed, for you shall be a delightsome land, says Yahweh of hosts. Your words have been stout against me, says Yahweh. Yet you say, what have we spoken so much against you? You have said, it is a vain to serve Yahweh. And what profits it that we have kept his ordinance and that we have walked mournfully before Yahweh of hosts? And now we call the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, that tempt, yes, they that tempt Elohim are even delivered. And we watching this foolishness right now. We looking at Katy Perry and what Gail, what's her name, King, all these people that are proud people sitting here lying in our face, telling us that they done went into space. Y'all done knocked down a whole tower and confused the languages on the earth because man was trying to reach the firmament. But yet CBS and Jeff Bezos and them, they can do it. They can go to space. And we think we happy. We calling these people happy because they doing this. Lying. Verse 16. Then they that feared Yahweh spake often one to another, and Yahweh hearkened and heard, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahweh and thought upon his name, his character. So a literal book of remembrance is being written in heaven for those that fear Yahweh and think upon his name. Verse 17, and they shall be mine, says Yahweh of hosts, in the day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spares his own son that serves him. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serves Yah and him that serves him not. So again, Yah said that he is going to remember us in the day when he makes up his jewels. That is peculiar things, his chosen things. Your jewel is your chosen thing. Praise Yah. So let's go to the conclusion. We have a bit of a shorter class today. We're going to go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 5. And I just want to read 8 verses. 2nd Ezra, chapter 5. All right. And a lot of the nations are stuck on Yah's first fruits. They have a problem with the fact that Yah created the concept of first fruits. Yah created the holy day, and Yah created the people that he called his first fruits, his firstborn. All right, so we're going to 2nd Ezra, chapter 5. And if you do not have access to the Apocrypha, 1611 King James Version Bible, you can always go to our website at israelitesgathering.com, or you can even go to the application and you can access any of these books that we read out, download a copy, view it for free. So for the conclusion, 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, and we're going to read 21 through 27. And the nations, and what is a big hang up for people, and why a lot of people are Christian. They're Christian because they don't want to accept a lot of people, not all. They don't want to accept that Yah has an order, that he chose a nation of people, Israelite. And because they're not Israelite, or they don't know they're Israelite, they say, well, I'm just going to reject that whole Elohim, that whole mighty one, because he didn't choose me. But how you know he didn't choose you? He may not have chose you to be his firstborn, but if the root is holy, so is the branch. So if you're part of the tree, then you'll get some of the same benefits. So you're going to say, I don't want to live because I wasn't the firstborn, so I'm not going to be the secondborn. King David wasn't the firstborn. So he gonna say, well, I'm just gonna kill myself because I wasn't the firstborn, Joab, or whoever the firstborn was. That's ridiculous. Second Ezra, chapter 5, and verse 21. And after 7 days, so it was, that the thoughts of my heart were very grievous unto me again. And my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again, and said, O Yah, that bears rule of every wood of the earth and of all the trees thereof, you have chosen only one vine. So Yah has the right to choose what belongs to his. He has the right to choose which portion belongs to him, either the beginning or the end or the middle. That's his choice. And he's showing you this right here. Of all the wood of the earth and all the trees, he only chose one particular vine. And of all the lands of the whole world, he's chosen one place, one pit, one specific place. And of all the flowers thereof, he chose one plant, the lily. So he's telling you he has his preferences. That's his choice. He's the creator. Who are you to tell the creator that created anything that he can't choose what is his best creation? That's like you, an artist, and you paint 50 paintings and you give it to a museum to hold for you. And you say, this is my favorite painting. And they say, you can't have it. How are you going to tell me what I can have? I'm the one that created it. The painting, that's the last painting. That's the worst painting gonna say, nah, I don't believe in you because I'm not the best painting. That's the foolishness we say. Verse 25. And of all the depths of the sea, you have filled one river. He's chose one river. And of all the builded cities, you have hollowed Zion to yourself. Yah's choice. And of all the fowls that are created, you has named you one dove out of all the birds that was ever created. He chose one bird, the dove, his favorite bird. And of all the beasts, the cattle that are made, you provided one sheep. Of all the animals in the farm, he chose one animal, the sheep. So if Yah has a favorite animal, a sheep, a favorite bird, the dove, a favorite plant, the lily, a favorite hollowed city, a favorite builded city, Zion, and he has a favorite people. So he's allowed to have a favorite, but you have a problem with him liking the dove? Nah, you put a picture of dove. You have a problem with him liking the sheep? Nah, you put pictures of sheep. You got a problem with liking Zion? Nah, you sing Jerusalem in all your songs, right? But then when it comes to the people Israel, now you got a problem. Get your racist behind up out of here. Verse 27, and they're going to have a problem with this one right here. And among all the multitudes of people that you have gotten, you one people. That's his choice. That's his first fruits. That's his first in rank. If you replace that with anything else, then that's not Yah's first fruit. That's not Yah's first in rank. That's another God. That's an idol. And unto this people whom you love, you gave a law that's approved of all. That means his law is above everything. Verse 28. And now, O Yah, why has you given this one people over to many? And upon one root has you prepared others? And why have you scattered your only one people among many? So again, that's what I wanted to read right there. I just wanted to show that Yah has his selection. He has his own first fruits. And to change that order is to change Yah, is to lie. So when Yah says the first fruits belong unto him, yeah, the first fruits of the land, the first fruits of the animals, the first fruit of the people. The first fruit of the people is the children of Israel. We belong to him. That's why we work for him. That's why we are to set apart his days, hallow his things, accomplish things the way he said for us to do that, because that's his choice. All right. And we got a few comments here before we close out. And it says they also believe that only the one can partake in Passover. That's foolishness. That is the most foolishness I've ever heard, because everybody got to keep the Passover if you're going to be amongst the children of Israel. And Brother Dre, they dropped some more jewels, 144,000, the governed body in the kingdom to come. Hallelujah. Absolutely. They are go forever. Those are the first fruits of Mashiach. They go with him everywhere the king reigns. Ecclesiastes 12:4. Give glory. Give to the godly man and help not to a sinner. Hallelujah. Ecclesiastes 25:12. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of his love, and faith is the beginning of cleaving onto him. So you have to have faith in his word. You have to have faith in the Most High. You can't have faith in Yah's word if you don't have faith in Yah. You got to believe that he exists. And if you believe he exists, and you believe his words, you believe his way. And once you do that, now you can actually follow what he's saying. Excellent script. And the last one is Isaiah, Yeshayah, chapter 55 and verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, says Yahweh. And as always, very, very fitting. Man will come up with his own inventions. And if you are saying that you worship the God of this Bible, then you have to respect Yah's order. And Yah's order is the first fruits belong unto Yah. And his first fruits is his chosen, his Bekor, Israel. So that's why we have a whole holy day that is dedicated to us. First fruits of Yah. So that's all we're going to do today. If anybody has any questions or comments, you can go ahead and email us at info@israelitesgathering.com. You can also message us on the app. We're trying to do a little bit of work on the app to build out some articles, so we can get some more stuff to send you, so that you can be a little more interactive in the app. For those that are still keeping Passover and unleavened bread and first fruits, I pray that everybody enjoys their time. When these holy days are going on, try not to just show up and just do it just to do it. Try to gain an understanding of why we're keeping these holy days and what's going on. So that's all we're going to do today. So Yah's will, we'll see you on Shabbat. If we've gained anything from our classes and would like to tithe and put money towards us, you can Cash App us at $SWORDATL. All right, so that's all we're going to do today. Yah's will, we will see you for Shabbat. Shalom, y'all.